Once thriving American cities are now facing decline. But how can you tell if your city is next? Today, we break down the 15 unmistakable signs that a U.S. city is on the brink of collapse. Alright, first up, population loss. And no, I'm not just talking about a few people deciding they'd rather live closer to a Trader Joe's. I'm talking about a mass exodus. When more people are leaving than arriving, it's a major warning sign. And trust me, you'll feel it. Empty streets, shuttered schools, that eerie quiet in the middle of the day. Those are the sounds of a city slowly turning into a ghost town. Cities like Detroit and St. Louis have been dealing with this for decades. And let's just say their brochures aren't exactly emphasizing their desirable ghost town aesthetic these days. Think of it like this. A city is like a party. People move in for the excitement, the opportunities, the chance to rub elbows with other interesting people. But when the music stops, the snacks run out, and the guests start disappearing faster than you can say property values, you know it's time to start worrying. Because a city without people isn't a city, it's just a very large, poorly maintained park. Next up, we've got rising crime rates. Look, every city has its share of bad apples. But if violent crime and property theft are surging, residents and businesses flee fast. And who can blame them? No one wants to live in a place where they're constantly looking over their shoulder or worrying about their car getting jacked for its catalytic converter. Again, this isn't about being scared of your own shadow, it's about basic safety. If people don't feel safe walking down the street or letting their kids play in the park, they're going to find somewhere else to live. It's like that old saying, fight or flight. Well, in this case, flight is booking one-way tickets out of Dodge, and who can afford to stick around when Dodge is starting to look a lot like a scene from Escape from New York? Now, let's talk about those empty storefronts that are starting to look all too familiar. You know the ones, boarded up windows, dusty for lease signs, and that lingering smell of yesterday's dreams. A healthy city has thriving businesses. It's the lifeblood of the community, the engine that keeps everything running. But when stores can't stay open, it's a clear sign that the local economy is on life support. It's a vicious cycle, really. Businesses close, people lose their jobs, and then there's even less money to support the remaining businesses. It's like watching a game of Jenga, where every block removed brings the whole tower closer to collapse. And trust me, nobody wants to be around when that happens. This next one's a real heartbreaker: declining school enrollment. When families leave, schools lose students, leading to closures and a decline in education quality. And that's a real gut punch because education is supposed to be the great equalizer, the key to a brighter future. But when schools are struggling, it's a sign that the city itself is struggling to invest in its future. It's like neglecting to water a plant. Sure, it might survive for a while on rainwater and good intentions, but eventually it's going to wither and die. And that's what happens to cities that don't prioritize education. They become barren wastelands of missed potential, where the only growth industry is disillusionment. Speaking of things that are falling apart, let's talk about infrastructure decay. Crumbling roads, bridges held together with duct tape and hope, and public transit that runs about as smoothly as a shopping cart with a wobbly wheel. These are not the signs of a thriving metropolis. They're the signs of a city that's slowly surrendering to entropy. Think of it like this. Infrastructure is the skeleton of a city, the framework that holds everything together. And when that framework starts to crumble, the whole city is at risk. It's like trying to drive a car with bald tires and a sputtering engine. You might get where you're going eventually, but it's going to be a bumpy, stressful, and potentially dangerous ride. Now let's talk about a truly heartbreaking symptom of urban decline, a homelessness surge. Growing encampments and housing shortages are not just statistics, they're human tragedies. They're a sign of a city that's failing its most vulnerable residents, the ones who need its support the most. It's easy to look away, to pretend it's not happening, or to blame the victims. But the truth is, homelessness is a complex issue with no easy solutions. And it's a symptom of a much larger problem, a society that's increasingly failing to provide for the basic needs of its citizens. It's a moral stain on our collective conscience, and it's a sign that we've lost our way. Chapter 7. High taxes and business flight, the economic death spiral. Now let's talk about a topic that's near and dear to the hearts of many Americans: taxes. Specifically, high taxes. Look, we all know that taxes are necessary. They're the price we pay for a civilized society. But when businesses flee because of high taxes, it creates a domino effect that can cripple a city. Job losses, reduced services, and a shrinking tax base. It's a vicious cycle that's hard to break. Think of it like this. Businesses are like the geese that lay the golden eggs. Tax them too much and they'll simply fly away to greener pastures, leaving the city holding the bag, a bag full of debt, unfunded pensions, and a whole lot of unanswered questions. Chapter 8. Political corruption. The rot starts at the top. Politics. The cesspool of broken promises, backroom deals, and enough scandals to make your head spin. But here's the thing about political corruption. It's not just an abstract concept that plays out on cable news. It has real-world consequences, especially for cities. When city leaders are more interested in lining their own pockets than serving their constituents, it creates a breeding ground for all sorts of urban ills, mismanagement, lack of accountability, and a general sense that the fix is in. These are the hallmarks of a city on the decline. It's like a termite infestation, slowly eating away at the foundations of trust and good governance until the whole structure collapses in on itself. Chapter 9. Failing public services, the unraveling safety net. Now let's talk about the glue that holds a city together, public services. We're talking about everything from trash collection and street cleaning to police and fire departments. These are the essential services that make a city livable, and when they start to fail, it's a sign that the city itself is starting to come apart at the seams. Slow emergency response times, unreliable utilities, and a general lack of maintenance. These are all red flags that something is seriously wrong. It's like watching a once great athlete slowly succumb to injuries and age. The talent is still there, the potential is still there, but the body is just not able to keep up. This next one is a real gut-punch: abandoned homes and blight. Because behind those boarded-up windows and overgrown lawns are stories of families who lost their homes, dreams that turned to dust, and a community that's slowly unraveling. And it's not just an eyesore, it's a breeding ground for crime, a drain on property values, and a constant reminder that things are not okay. Think of it like this. Abandoned homes are like open wounds on the body of a city. They need to be treated, they need to be healed, or they'll continue to fester and spread, infecting the entire neighborhood. Now let's talk about something that hits people right where it hurts: their wallets. Declining property values are a clear sign that people are losing faith in a city's future. And when home prices start to tank, it sets off a chain reaction that can be difficult to stop. People who can afford to leave will bail, taking their money and their tax dollars with them. Those who are left behind are stuck with underwater mortgages, declining services, and a shrinking pool of potential buyers. It's a vicious cycle that can turn a once desirable neighborhood into a financial black hole. This next one is a real kick-in-the-pants brain drain. When young professionals and graduates leave for better opportunities elsewhere, it's a sign that a city is failing to attract and retain the very people it needs to thrive. It's like a restaurant that's losing all its best chefs. Eventually, the food is going to suffer, no matter how fancy the decor. Cities need young people. They need their energy, their ideas, their willingness to take risks. But when those young people start to see a city as a dead end, instead of a land of opportunity, they're going to pack their bags and head for the exits. And who can blame them? Now let's talk about a topic that's guaranteed to get some blood boiling over: regulation. Look, we all want to live in a safe, clean, and well-run city. But when regulations become so burdensome that they stifle small businesses and innovation, it does more harm than good. It's like trying to run a marathon while wearing a suit of armor. Sure, you might be well protected, but you're also going to be slow, clumsy, and incredibly uncomfortable. And in the world of business, speed and agility are essential for survival. This next one is a real doozy: pension and budget crises. Because when a city's finances are a mess, it's only a matter of time before the chickens come home to roost. Unfunded pension liabilities, chronic budget shortfalls, and a general inability to balance the books. These are not the signs of a well-managed city. They're the signs of a slow-motion train wreck. It's like trying to pay off a credit card with another credit card. Sure, it might work for a while, but eventually the debt is going to catch up with you, and when it does, it's going to be ugly. And finally we come to the dreaded credit rating downgrade. This is the financial equivalent of a doctor telling you that your city has terminal cancer. It's a sign that investors have lost faith in a city's ability to manage its finances, and it can have dire consequences. Higher borrowing costs, difficulty attracting investment, and a general sense that the city is a bad bet. These are just a few of the joys that come with a downgraded credit rating. It's like having a big flashing neon sign over your city that says, "Invest at your own risk, we're probably going to default on our debts." So is your city showing these symptoms? If so, it might be time to demand change or consider your options, because once the decline starts, it's hard to reverse. It's like trying to unscramble an egg. Messy, frustrating, and ultimately futile. But hey, maybe I'm being too pessimistic. Maybe your city is a shining beacon of hope, a testament to the indomitable spirit of urban renewal. Or maybe it's just slowly circling the drain like the rest of us. What do you think? Have you seen these signs where you live? Drop a comment below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more hard-hitting analysis. Because if we're all going down, we might as well be informed, right?